Golfer wins Australian Women's Classic trophy and is threatened with death. What was supposed to be a happy day in Breanna Gill's life turned into a weekend of terror due to the death threats she received. Breanna Gill, a biological man who has been competing in women's golf tournaments for 8 years, was seeking his first victory, but he did not expect that the happiest day of his life would also become his worst nightmare when he received dozens of death threats on his social media. If you love golf and want to receive the latest news, click the subscribe button now to not miss any new news. After a great game, transgender athlete Breanna Gill ended up winning the long-awaited Australian Women's Classic trophy. But the 42-year-old woman's achievement turned into a nightmare minutes after the victory. As soon as the competition ended, the tour posted a tweet congratulating Gill on her victory. The golfer quickly began receiving dozens of death threats on her social media, as well as other messages criticizing her participation in women's championships. Karen Lunn, head of the WPGA Tour of Australasia, gave a statement to The Age and the Sydney Morning Herald supporting Gill. "It's the biggest win of her life. It's very sad that she can't celebrate this victory." Breanna Gill has been participating in women's tournaments for 8 years and has now achieved her first professional title. She was sprayed with champagne by her colleagues after hitting the winning birdie putt from 1 meter in the final hole. "I always had a good feeling that one day I could have the opportunity to win this golf tournament. To actually make it happen is just amazing. I really can't believe it," she said. Shortly after Gill's victory, the WPGA Tour of Australasia posted a tweet celebrating the athlete's victory. The post did not make it clear that the golfer was transgender, but there were several reports, including from American professional golfer Haley Ostrom, who criticized the fact that a transgender woman won a women's golf tournament. Another response to the WPGA's tweet said, "One solution would be to create a trans league to maintain the level of play." Ostrom said, "This is my opinion too." Some of the online criticisms of Gill's victory spoke of it as a mental illness and accused the athlete of taking a woman's place in the championship win. A Twitter user also cited the numerous cases of transgender athletes participating in women's sports and questioned whether the end of women's sports is approaching. Some Twitter users condemned the death threats Gill received and defended the athlete. However, the vast majority of comments did not approve of biological men competing in women's sports. The tweet quickly reached millions of people, receiving thousands of abusive responses, many of which directly attacked Gill. After that, Breanna Gill decided to delete her profiles on Twitter and Instagram. The WPGA's tweet about Gill was also deleted, and the tour's account is now private in an attempt to reduce the athlete's offenses. Lunn commented that deleting the tweet was necessary to preserve the player's well-being. And it wasn't just the athlete who received threats. Karen Lunn also commented that she and other members of the WPGA were also threatened. Transgender players have been accepted in the WPGA since 2004, and the same policy is adopted by the 7 main international women's golf tournaments. To be accepted, athletes must undergo sex reassignment surgery, undergo hormonal therapy for at least 1 year, and prove through documents their gender change. Even so, compliance and acceptance of the conditions are subject to the WPGA's criteria. Lunn made it clear that Gill met the required criteria, so she was accepted. Lunn also said that Gill's membership and participation in competitions were never a problem for the organization's 300 members. "Everyone is concerned about her well-being," Lunn said. "It is obviously a very difficult time." The growing number of transgender athletes in women's competitions in various sports has sparked a debate on the subject, which began last year when the International Swimming Federation, FINA, the body that controls world swimming, banned transgender women from participating in women's competitions. It seems that there will still be several debates on the subject because several sports are adopting different policies for accepting or not accepting transgender athletes. In 2020, World Rugby banned trans athletes from competing in women's leagues, while World Athletics last month banned transgender women from participating in women's competitions if they went through male puberty. Please comment on your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive all golf news.